question being asked, which is somewhat interesting. My debit card will be expiring in June 2025. So I just want to get a recommendation of what's great out there. I read somewhere that XYZ bank is pretty good. In my mind, it's like, it's a debit card. Why would you need to change from one card to another? I've been using the same debit card over and over 10 plus years. If it does expire or if you lose it, they tend to send you another one. And if you know it's going to expire, why don't you request for another one? So maybe they get confused by debit card to a credit card, but it says my credit card will be expiring in this year. So yeah, if a debit card expire, you just require another one. If you move house, which we did, and we haven't updated your address, let's say, maybe contact them and ask them to update your address and inquire, maybe requesting for a new card because after all, it's a debit card. A debit card doesn't really do much except you using your own money instead of using their money. So overall, we just keep on using it. Like, we're using it until it expires. We use it when it's cracked and you still have the same access to anything. A credit card might be a little bit different. So a debit card, definitely just request for another one with an extension of a new expiry date. So, recently when we were overseas, I lost my wallet and request for another one and at no extra cost. And if it does damage for whatever reason, request another one. So debit card, it's your own money. You're not leveraging anything. Credit cards, on the other hand, it varies between one card to another. So from one issuer to another, or if not from the same issuer, depending on which, financial institute that you use. So sometimes they have multiple different versions to make it look fancy because you have XYZ account or something, which I don't understand the fascination of it, because it's just a fancy way. How can I get more money from you? So if I give you this platinum titanium card or this fancy metal square rectangular thing, you're going to purchase more with this and show it off to people that I've got this XYZ type of rectangular things in my wallet, but they're going to charge you a lot more in interest. So why would you want that? So for me, I don't get it. For me, I don't like that. I just use a debit card. Yes, my card is not fancy. Yes, it's got a couple of cracks and the plastic bits actually start peeling, but I can still pay it. Most of the days these days, I use my phone, so I don't have the physical card. In fact, funnily enough, a few days ago, I was out and about going work with a colleague of mine, and they require a credit card payment. And I'm like, do you need the physical card? Because I don't have the physical card. It's at home. So apparently, unfortunately, they do. Guess what? My wife was at home, take a picture of the physical card, and I just show them, this is the physical card, this had the number. They just need to know the number and the expiry date. They don't really care what card that you have. They only need to know the details of that number. So as the merchant, so for me, it's like, why do you need all of this fancy thing where you can just pay in cash? What I realize also is that if you have all of these fancy cards, let's say, or access, and thinking that, oh, this is a great deal. If you have this, you have access to XYZ, whatever product and services, shiny object item that you have, you're most likely going to spend more. I don't have any access to that. If I want something, I just have to save up for it. And when I save up for it, I pay in cash. And when I pay in cash, and that's it. So I don't borrow. So for me, I just try and keep it simple. And most merchant, they don't really care what you use as long as they can actually get the money. And if you're using a credit card, they're going to charge you an extra fees these days. So why would you want to do that? And then if you're late, you also have to pay. If you're late making a payment on the credit card, you still also have to pay more fees. So an item that is costing you $10, maybe merchant fee, let's say 1%, and then let's say you forgot to pay that $10 off within about 30 days or so. Guess what? They're going to slap on an extra fees on late fees. So I feel like there's actually costing you a lot more money. These days, I still use physical cash. Yes, we live in an era where it's actually a lot more cashless. Everything's digital these days, or in your wallet, or on your phone, sorry, or on your watch. Yeah, I understand that, but every merchant that I always go to, I always check, do you charge merchant fees? If you do, I'll use cash, thank you. And yeah, I don't like paying merchant fees, so I don't mind paying for the goods and services that I use, but I try to avoid merchant fees. Yeah, a couple of cents here, a couple of cents there. I'd rather invest that money instead of paying those fees. So that's just my 2 cents. You know, coming from my own experience, debit card, there's no expiry. Just get a new one. If you like your bank, just stay put. Most of the time, you also have all of these things attached to it. Maybe let's say if you have an automatic account, let's say where your let's say your rent coming out from that, or you have a direct debit where it's actually, you know, you have to pay subscription or your kids' school fees or kids' activities. You already got all that attached to this. I mean, for me, it's a lot more painful if I have to transfer that to a new bank. So that means I have to contact every single providers and tell them that we're going to have a new bank because my debit card expiring. So to me, that time, it can be utilized elsewhere instead of trying to maybe get you a better rate if it's a new debit card. That could be it. But for me, I just use my debit card for everyday transaction. It's not really much for anything, just for everyday expenses. I don't utilize that for anything else aside from just transferring for direct debited. If there's any auto transaction, let's say, it goes from that one account. That's just my 2 cents. If you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.